we're back. Welcome to the Standard Podcast. I am Pastor Kelly Ogwezi, but you can just call me PK. And I am joined by my bestie, Rara. Hey, Rara.
Hey, boo.
Hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie.
I normally say, hey, bestie. What made me say, hey, Rara this time?
Because you said my bestie, Rara.
Okay, so I still got my point across?
You did.
Okay. You're looking very beautiful today.
You as well.
Thank you, girl. So, the Standard Podcast, it is for the woman who didn't plan to be a disruptor. Life just left her with no option. Who is a disruptor? Like, what is a disruptor? Glad you asked. A woman who disrupts is one who intentionally challenges systems, mindsets, and patterns that keep people, organizations, or cultures stuck, while introducing a new, higher standard of truth, order, or possibility. This is for the woman who refuses to die in dysfunction. And I want to add this. It's for the woman who's done with performance, tired of perfection, and bold enough to still lead even if she's bleeding. Here we talk church hurt, public pressure, private pain, betrayal, identity, boundaries, and becoming. We are raw, we're real, and we are unapologetic. So welcome to the Standard Podcast. If you're listening for the first time, we welcome you in. Make sure you go back and listen to all our other episodes because we've been having a really good time. But today, bestie, I am so ready for this one. I'm going to get you to help me. Are you ready for this title?
And what's the title?
Okay. Why good girls attract narcissists.
If only I knew.
My God.
If only there was a textbook that says, hey, you're this type of person, you're going to attract this type of person, and you know how to avoid it.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, so this conversation resulted from us having dinner, and we were like, why do strong women attract narcissists? You know, we were just talking about this.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think we should explore it more deeply. So, and then we were like, you said, is it because we're nurses? Because we're both nurse practitioners. That doesn't mean that only a nurse would attract a narcissist. But if you are someone who's used to helping or in a profession that helps people or fixes people, so to speak, are we more inclined to attract that type of person?
Yeah, like a nurturing type.
I think so. I mean, I think so. I didn't really realize that it was like a, well, you know, when you attract a narcissist, they don't show up with a sign saying, hello, I'm going to be your worst nightmare. Oh, my God.
They send their best representative to you.
Oh, my God.
And when I say the representation is...
It's like on point.
It's on point.
You're like, oh, my God,
About
this is the
time.
best. Finally, I got it right.
Yes. And then you find out down the line after you don't invest it so much.
Like, wait a minute,
like,
something is off. So let's dive deeper into this. And one of the things I've noticed, right, my content on social media about narcissists always blows up. People are actually very interested in the topic. And you even find forums and things like that for survivors of narcissists. Like, it's a real thing. It can literally drive you crazy if you let it. And you are led to believe that it's you.
Yeah. I think the worst narcissist is the one that's undiagnosed.
Oh, absolutely. Well, most of them are probably going to be undiagnosed because they don't think anything is wrong. It's you.
It's you.
It's the other person. So let's dive into it a little bit deeper. So here we go. Have you noticed that the kindest, most giving women, often labeled as good girls, seem to repeatedly end up with narcissists? So today in this episode, and I'm so excited to get deeper into this, you know, I'm a nerd. Today we'll unpack why this happens, and explore whether being a nurse or a caregiver of some sort makes you an even bigger target.
Okay.
So anybody, I would imagine, can attract one, but are we a bigger target? I was reading something the other day about when you're in healthcare or a nurse or whatever, you are looked at by a narcissist as a supply. Ain't that something? I have heard people say, I don't know if they were narcissists or not, but I've heard people say, I want to be with a nurse.
Yeah.
Like, I guess
before.
because that people think like nurses make a lot of money or something, or, you know, I thought when I got out of nursing school that I was going to be rich.
You're right.
And I got out and we started the state hospital together. And my salary was $33,000, like $600. And I immediately, look, I'm stumbling thinking about it. I still remember when I got my first check. I don't know why I thought I was going to make so much money. I got my first check and I was like, you mean I went to school and went through hell?
Because they glorify nursing your entire life. Like when you're in middle school and when they have you, okay, you might need to start choosing your career.
Yeah.
The medical profession was like the top.
Yeah, and my mother was a nurse. My mother was a registered nurse. You know that.
Yeah.
And even at my 5th grade graduation, I stood up and said, I'm going to be a nurse just like my mama. My mama didn't want me to be a nurse.
Right.
Because of the hours, which I kind of bypassed because, you know, I never worked in the hospital. I couldn't stand it after doing med-surg clinicals. I was like, I'm never working in a hospital. You, on the other hand, like, you boss in the hospital. But me, no, I've always done psych or something like that. But anyway, when I got my first check as a registered nurse, I was like, this is not going to work. So I immediately made plans to go back to do NP because a nurse practitioner, even back then, made at least double what a registered nurse made. But I've always heard people say, I want to be with a nurse. I'm going to find a nurse. You see what I'm saying? Like, so whatever that's about. But anyway, let's talk more about this narcissism now. So we just want to explore whether being a nurse or a caregiver of some sort makes you an even bigger threat. So first of all, what is a narcissist? I don't think I really heard much about it. But even now, going back, I really do believe my father was a narcissist because he couldn't see. He would apologize sometimes, but he really couldn't see the error of his ways. You see what I'm saying? So I know, I do believe he was a narcissist to a certain degree, or at least had some narcissistic traits. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he could be, and this is what makes me think about it, he could be so, you know my daddy, he could be so charming.
Yeah.
But could be such a ass also. I mean, like, my daddy was, rest his soul, he was something else. But he was equally as charming.
Yeah.
And that's probably how he got my mama in the beginning, acting like he was the sweetest little lamb. And me and my sister used to call him Louis Cypher, which was a code name for Lucifer. That's how bad he was.
Wow.
When we were growing up, when he would come home, we would see the car coming down the street. We were like, man, Louis is home.
Wow.
He was like, oh my God. But he could be so nice. And I think you have to watch people who are so nice.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that is just that representative.
The representative.
Hooking you into what they're actually up to. So what is narcissistic personality disorder? A severe, y'all, Jesus, diagnosable form marked by grandiosity, lack of empathy, oh my God, and a need for admiration. A need for admiration. And so when you first start, if you've ever dealt with one, you understand. But if you don't have any experience in it, we're going to help you so that you see the signs and you never get into a situation like this, because it will turn your world upside down.
Yeah.
And it happens slowly.
Oh, yeah.
No, it doesn't happen all at once. It's like they're very manipulative and they calculate everything and they can pace it out and be really, really kind and patient until they hook you. And then slowly they start to flip the script on you.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest things from my experience is they couldn't remember our conversations. So it got so bad to where I started to literally document everything,
Yeah.
like in nursing,
Yeah.
per our conversation.
Right.
Because it's like they develop some type of amnesia to the things that you talk about. And they're quick to say, I didn't say that. Have you had that experience?
I had to start like you said, write stuff down. So I would text according to our
Just like I said, per our conversation.
Yeah, because
Please acknowledge.
2 weeks later, when it's brought back up, you're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "I'm sure I had this conversation with you."
It'll play you like you're crazy, like
Yeah.
for real. Okay, so here we go. What narcissism is and how prevalent is it? Okay, here we go. There's a gnat flying around. Okay, so there's different types of narcissism. Grandiose. This type of person is outwardly confident, entitled, and dominant. Then you have vulnerable, fragile, hypersensitive, driven by low self-esteem and validation needs. Like in a previous episode, we were talking about a previous partner of yours, and that when you decided you were going to pursue nursing, he immediately said, okay, well, you're going to go and get with one of those doctors and you're not going to need me. It's like, whoa, what are you talking about?
Right.
I'm going to do something for us. Why are you automatically why do you feel so intimidated because I want to better myself?
Exactly.
So from my experience with that type of behavior, they don't want you to better yourself, it seems like. It's like when you better yourself, you're intimidated or you step on their egos.
Right.
So they'll do little slick things, like the day you took your boards and he picked an argument with you and then
Right.
you didn't pass your boards.
Right.
It seems like some of the times when I had something really important going on, those were the times when there was an issue or an argument that would distract me from what I really needed to do. And I think about how my dad used to do my mom.
Yeah.
You know, anytime there was something good happening, he would cop an attitude, be mad. I mean, just craziness. But perhaps it is driven by somebody's inferiority complex.
Could be.
You know, it's not our job to make somebody feel important or superior.
Right.
But they need that. So it's often driven by low self-esteem and validation needs. So narcissistic personality disorder affects about 0.5% to 5% of the U.S. population. Most estimates fall between 1 to 2%. So if the disorder only affects 1 to 2% max, tell me how we are able to keep finding these people. Maybe we should go play the lottery.
I need to redo those numbers.
Yeah, I think it's underreported.
I think that, yeah.
This is just diagnosed.
Diagnosed, yeah, because it's a lot of
Yeah,
undiagnosed.
it's a lot of undiagnosed. That's got to be what this is. This has to be skewed.
Right.
Gender differences. Studies show men are more likely to display grandiose narcissism.
Yeah,
And women are more often to show the vulnerable traits.
I believe that.
You see that? So like the guy, outwardly confident, entitled, and dominant, but the woman plays the fragile role.
Timid one.
Yeah, the damsel in distress.
Right.
Hypersensitive to everything and driven by low self-esteem. So that's interesting to know how it presents in men versus women. It's also frequently underdiagnosed in women. It's probably underdiagnosed in both, but
Right.
here we go. What's the cause of it? Genetics is a part of it. Narcissistic traits have moderate to high heritability, around 37 to 77%, depending on the trait subtype. And then you got some other things, neurobiology and evolution, brain structure differences. Isn't that something? Hormonal links like testosterone may underlie grandiosity. Can you believe that? Like an issue with your hormones, with your testosterone can stimulate the development of narcissism. Like it's a real thing.
It's definitely a real thing.
Childhood experiences, emotional neglect, abuse, unstable, or overvaluing parenting can contribute to it. And then attachment disruptions, lack of empathetic mirroring in childhood. So if no one showed you concern or empathy, you develop it because, you know, that's what's modeled before you.
Right.
So if you're not loved on as a child, it can play out.
So it's like a learned behavior.
It appears to be. It can be. It becomes a risk factor. Wow. Because narcissistic people, they have no empathy. They don't care how much you holler and cry and scream. They'll just look at you. It actually fuels them.
Yeah.
from my experience. Like,
Yeah.
the more upset you get, the more excited they get.
Right.
Oh my God. So why do we, good girls, attract this type of behavior? Well, as nurses or caregivers, we naturally have empathy. We have the instinct of caregiving. We like to fix stuff.
Right.
And it's not just for nurses, but if you're listening and you're a fixer, I've always been like that, always trying to fix somebody. Like, what in the world is up with that?
Right.
You know, but you become a magnet or a target for this type of person when you naturally want to help or make things better. You become a target. Also, conflict avoidance. If you're someone who kind of dims down to avoid conflict, you become a target. And then the drive to please. So these are things that the good girl often embodies as characteristics. So very empathetic, very concerned, very willing to fix things, and we want to please. So
You see the good in the person instead of the bad.
I
all the
know.
time.
We see potential.
Yeah,
We see potential.
exactly.
Like, oh my God. So, you know, the way a narcissist sees this, though, these beautiful traits that the good girl has of empathy and caring and compassionate and all that. You know what a narcissist sees? Supply.
Supply.
Emotional supply.
Wow.
And I think people need to be warned about how this shows up. And again, the catch is they show up really sweet. Like, oh my God. So, a narcissist sees these types of characteristics as emotional supply because, like a grandiose narcissist, they feed off of admiration. They expect you to admire them.
Yeah.
They want you to compliment them all the time. I remember one time I was talking to somebody and, you know, I made a decision to get back in shape. So I was going to the gym and doing all of that. And the person told me, well, I don't need to go to the gym. I don't. And kind of looked like flexing on me. Like you weren't even in shape, but you tell me, oh, I don't have to do all of that.
Yeah.
That's that grandiose.
Put myself on a pedal.
Yes. Oh, you have to
pedestal
go to the
type thing.
gym, but I don't have to go to the gym. And then it was like kind of cocky with it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at your belly, and you talking about
Not the belly.
the belly. You know about the belly, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. I said, but I had learned by that time to be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay is my favorite line.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Because you realize once you start dealing with this, you're like, oh, okay. Like, I'm not about to keep going down this road with you. Oh, okay is quicker than trying to keep getting somebody to understand, like, this is not cool, this is not normal. So you just start dismissing the behavior. So here's another one. A vulnerable narcissist exploit guilt and sensitivity. So here's the pattern that people need to be mindful of. Love bombing. They just shower you with
Gifts. And
oh
everything.
my God.
Yeah.
Boundary erosion. Go through all your stuff. Read your journals. Go through your dirty clothes. I was with this fool one time. Used to go through my gym bag.
Oh no.
Go through my gym bag and pick out my dirty clothes and say I was with somebody else because you done picked up my underwear.
That is just too much. That is just too much.
I should have ran in. I'm like, you are certified crazy.
Yeah. Who
You-
wants to go to someone
Going through my
underclothes?
gym bag and pulling out my dirty clothes and saying you've been somewhere else. Crazy. Like, oh my God. And by the time you start to see this kind of behavior, you're trapped.
You trapped.
Because this person was so nice
Yeah.
at first. And the next thing you know, you're going through my stuff, you know, going through my phone, going through my gym bag, going through my journal, going through my tax documents. Like, anything that they can snoop around in, they snoop like real bad. They have no respect for boundaries whatsoever. And they don't think there's anything wrong with it. They do not apologize.
Oh no, never ever.
I had somebody one time that read my journal and then said, I was reading your journal.
Oh, no.
And I said, you read my journal. Yes, I was trying to understand you better. So you read my journal, and then you came and told me, like there was nothing wrong with it, that you read my journal. And so I started leaving notes for that person in my journal. Like, hello.
I know you're here.
Yeah, since you're here, and I can't even talk to Jesus without you violating my privacy, hello. I started writing real big on the pages. Always snooping, always accusing, always looking for something to like minimize you and exalt themselves. Never admitting that they're wrong really about anything. It's very rare that they admit that they're wrong about anything.
Exactly. That's true.
And either they apologize, they go back and dig it right back up and do it again.
But when they apologize, it's not like they give a heartfelt apology. It doesn't be like, I'm sorry for doing this to you. They be like, I apologize.
And go on.
What is that?
Yeah. They see nothing wrong that they do, basically. They know, now from my experience, they know everything about everything and expert in every topic.
Every topic. Every topic.
I hope y'all are listening for these signs.
And you don't know anything.
No, you don't know nothing. Lord Jesus. I remember years ago, I done had some crazy stuff happen. And I've been a nurse, we've been nurses for 20-something years, right? Like 24 years or 23 years, something like that. I think you've been a nurse 24 years. I've been a nurse 23 years. And I remember years ago when one of my children was sick, and I was trying to say, what needed to be done. Baby, he didn't listen to me. He called his mama.
I believe.
And then I remember another situation where this guy had something going on. And instead of listening to me, he called his friend who was non-medical and then told me what the friend suggested. Like, I'm not the medical person.
Right.
Like, I got to prove to you that I'm medical. Like, go ahead and call your friend. You mean to tell me, instead of listening to me, a trained healthcare professional that actually treats patients, right? You would dismiss what I said and follow the advice of your friend who is non-medical, has no medical training whatsoever.
Because they never want you to be right.
Say it again for the people in the back.
They never want you to be right.
My God. Never. So here's some red flags. Early. I didn't know what this was.
I didn't either.
Yeah. So I've been dealing with it a long time, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. I didn't know it till after the fact.
Yeah. So I started looking back over my life and saying, okay, yeah, this has been a repetitive thing. Right. Okay. So classic signs: idealization and rapid affection. Love bombing. Have you ever experienced love bombing? Where somebody just showers you with love and sweet things at first, like
that's what my first husband used to do.
I was about to say, yes.
Girl, I used to get.
Then he used to send flowers and stuff to work and balloons.
I used to get so many gifts.
Crazy.
Christmas, baby. You'd have thought Santa himself brought me Christmas gifts.
Bestie, not Santa himself.
Yes.
He came down from the North Pole.
So much nice stuff for Christmas, birthdays, everything. And then he would shower my parents. Like, he had my family fooled for a minute that he was the good person. I might be the bad one. You know what I'm saying?
And then your family be looking at you sideways.
Yeah, they be like, well, why you being mean? Or why you doing this? And I'm looking like, bruh, y'all don't even know the half of the situation.
Listen.
But that's what they do. They finagle your family in, and your family falls in love with them. Because they're so sweet and so thoughtful for them. And, oh, I was just thinking about you. Even after we divorced, he was still sending my dad stuff in the mail, literally. Like, I was like, listen, you're not connected to this family. Why are you still sending my dad stuff? Like, what is happening? But because he wanted to keep that notion that he was the good guy and your daughter messed up. You know
That's what they do. And it's so crazy when your family sides with them.
Yeah.
Like for real, stops talking to you and sides with them.
Yeah.
So that's a real thing too. So a lot of times when you hear people talk about narcissists, you hear the phrase love bombing, right? Mm-hmm. But just in case you don't know what love bombing is, or you're not really familiar, you've heard it, but you're not really familiar, let's break that down. So love bombing is when someone overwhelms you with excessive attention, affection, gifts, and praise, but it's over a short period of time. They don't keep it up. They don't keep up the praise. They don't. But in the beginning, they just shower you with just love and affection and gifts and praise. Not because it's pure love, though. It's to gain control, to create a dependency, or to manipulate you. So when they start showing this other side of them, you keep going back to who they were in the beginning. Like, okay, this cannot be who this person is, because in the beginning, so you'll hear a lot of people say, in the beginning, it was so good. Like, you seem like a knight in shining armor. Like, finally, this is it. I mean, like just a humble little lamb, just an angel of light.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
And it's like an on and off switch, because once I got married to him, and I'll never forget it, he looked at me as soon as the pastor said, okay, husband-wife situation, you may kiss your bride, da-da-da. And we kissed, and then he looked at me and he said, now you're mine.
Oh, God.
And it wasn't even in a funny way. To me, it was very sinister.
Are you serious?
But I was like, yeah. And so then I became a possession. Like, he owned me at that point.
Girl, y'all was still at the altar when he said it?
Yeah, he looked at me and said, now you mine.
Girl, I remember you were planning that wedding. Now, who am I to talk as jacked up as mine have been? But when you were planning that wedding, I was like, in my mind, please don't marry that fool. I didn't like him then.
Yeah. He was just super jealous of our relationship.
He couldn't stand me. Still can. He cannot stand me. I hope you watch this. Hello. But now, you correct me. But even before you married him, he had put his hands on you.
Yeah.
I remember one time you had like a black eye or something at work.
Yeah.
Before you married him.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So, although you didn't announce it, I just saw it. And that's why I was like, do not marry this fool.
Yeah.
So, what do you think made you marry him, even though he was like physically abusive before you even got married? Because that's how long I've been knowing you. I remember that.
Again, you begin to think, well, is it something I did at that point? You know what I'm saying? So you don't put the whole fault on that person. And so at that point, I'm like, well, maybe I could have handled it differently, you know. And then I'm like, I'm someone who's gonna fight back too. So I'm like, yeah, he got his wounds as well. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but it took a lot for me to walk out that marriage.
And he hates me to this day because I helped you leave. But it was your decision.
Right.
I just planned an escape plan based on what you decided to do.
Right.
But he feels like I was the reason you left. No, sir, you were the reason she left.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
by that time, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, by the time I was done.
Yeah.
I had checked out.
Like, how long before you actually left had you checked out?
I had checked out maybe about a year and a half before I actually left.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the moment that myself told myself.
I had that moment too.
Like, I remember the exact moment. I remember exactly what happened. That made, like, my brain was like, it's time for you to just get gone. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was still working at the state. And my daughter had to take pictures at school. And he was off that day. And I had to be at work. I think we had to be at work, what, 7:30 in the morning?
7:30, I think.
In the morning.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get
because B shift was 3:30.
But I had already laid out her clothes and everything she needed to put on. And I had combed her hair the night before. And so I got up that morning. I said, hey, all of her clothes is across the bed. She got pictures today. Make sure she wear this. And then she has dance after, so make sure you take this. And he was like, you want to get her dressed. And I said...
You were already at work?
I was getting dressed to go to work.
Okay.
But I was telling him what to do with her.
Yeah.
And he was like, you going to get her dressed? And I said, no, I'm not going to be late.
Yeah.
Getting her dressed. You can get her dressed. You're off today. The school was, 3 minutes down the street from my house? Because she went to private...
New Jerusalem, right?
Yeah. And he was like, no. And I said, okay. And I kept getting dressed. And I said, and I'm leaving. And he stormed out of the room and he pushed my head up against the wall. I said, okay. I still left. He still got her dressed and took her to school. So all that was just because of the narcissistic.
Right.
ways.
So you didn't fight him back or anything. He just pushed your head against the wall. I mean, he do it hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And I left the house. And that day I decided, okay, I'm moving. And that's what I did.
It took a minute.
It took a minute, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I made up my mind, the person I was talking to had been out of the country for like, I think 2 weeks. And so during that time, I was so excited. I was like, man, I'm free. But guess what I did in my time of freedom? Went to church. Okay? So I remember I went to church. In fact, I knew that I wanted to go to church. This is how bad it had gotten. I knew that I wanted to go to church when I dropped them off at the airport. Because it was on a Wednesday. I still distinctly remember it was on a Wednesday. And Jamarcus was preaching. Okay. And, you know, I love to hear him.
Right.
That's my spiritual brother. I love to hear him preach and teach. And so I was like, man, I got enough time to go to Bible study tonight.
Yeah.
But I dropped him off. This is how controlling the situation was. I dropped him off at the airport, and then I texted him and said, I'm going to run by New Vision tonight to hear Pastor Jamarcus preach, you know, if you don't mind. I'm asking permission to go to Bible study.
Go to church. Yeah.
So he says, okay. So I go, oh, my God, I have the time of my life. Like, oh, my God. I love it. I love the word, like breaking down the word. You know, I'm a nerd. So that night when I went to Bible study, and the way Jamarcus was, he has this way that he speaks where he does a lot of these, like, things that rhyme and stuff like that. And so I'm hearing him, and I'm taking just mad notes because it's so crazy what the Lord has done with me now to where, like, I'm into, like, social media coaching and editing and all that. Yeah, but back then, I was documenting on my iPad, what he was saying. And at the end, I was like, these are reels.
Right.
So my mind was even doing this years ago. Like, you know, sometimes you say things and you don't realize that what you're saying could be content.
Right.
So I was like, these are reels, but he didn't know how to do the reels. So I was like, okay, this is my brother. You know, me and Jamarcus, we're like brother and sister. So I was like, okay, come to the house when you got some free time and let me help you with how to do the reels. Now, where I am now with it is not where I was then. Right. So I remember he called while Jamarcus was there, and he was mad. I'm talking about everybody was at home now.
Yeah.
And he knows who Jamarcus is to me, and he was upset that Jamarcus was there. Brittany was there, I was there, my sister was there, all the kids were there.
Right.
And he didn't really like that. So fast forward, I went to church on Sunday, had time of my life. I went out to dinner with my spiritual parents. They came and saw the house and all that. It was still under construction. So he was keeping up with me through my sister. He was asking her where I was because, of course, I didn't take the baby with me.
Right.
You know. And so the following week, girl, I was turned up. Went to Bible study again. Yeah, 2 Bible studies in a row. And guess what? I went to church too. So I went to Bible study twice and church twice. Baby, when I picked him up from the airport, he didn't even speak to me. After being gone 2 weeks, he was so mad. And I'll never forget, this is when I said, I'm done.
I'm done.
Unknown to you. The next day, we went for a walk. And he said, I'm not going to have my wife running around while I'm out of the country. I swear to God, I only went to church. And you know what? It dawned on me, I can never please him.
Never. Anytime
you're upset because I went to church and you call that running around, I checked out then.
Yeah.
Like completely. I was because I'd already been trying and trying to be accommodating and adjusting myself. Yeah. Anytime I'm asking permission to go to church, it's not that he would say no. He would just cop an attitude and be acting funny.
Right.
But when we went for a walk that morning, and he said, "Listen, I'm not gonna have my wife running around while I'm gone and leaving the child and all of this. Like I didn't have people to. I only went to church. Like the Lord is my witness, and I went out to dinner with my church family. And then at that moment, I knew I was completely done.
Yeah.
I knew. I was like, I'm never, and the reason why I was done is because that's when I realized there's nothing I can do to please you.
Nothing.
It doesn't matter if I stand on top of my head. Nothing I can do to please you. And that's when I made up my mind that I was completely done. It took me a minute, but I knew then that that's when I considered it over. And that was years ago. Because I just couldn't. I was like, my daddy was like that. And I'm like, I am not going to live my life. My mama used to be so scared of my daddy. We had to be home by a certain time. She would get scared if it got dark. Like we got caught out in traffic or something and it was dark by the time we got home. We couldn't come home once it got dark.
Oh, wow.
Or she would buy us stuff. We had to sneak it in the house. Like, and I started saying, I'm a grown woman. I remember during this time, I had a dream of my mama. And my mama's been deceased now for 12 years. And I had a dream. My mama was just sitting on the porch at our old house in Byram. In that house my mama loved so much. And she was just rocking in the chair. She didn't say one word in the dream. But I interpreted that dream as, Kelly, don't let anybody have your peace.
Yeah.
And it's like that dream woke me up. I need to be able to sit on my porch in my rocking chair Even if I got to do it by myself and be at peace, then be with somebody and have hell in my house.
Right.
So people make assumptions and they make decisions and all of this, but they don't know what you've been through.
They don't know what you're going through secretly.
So as we get ready to wrap this up, so be careful about the things they say, like, I've never felt this way about anyone else before. I love you so much. Especially, and I haven't really had that part of the experience, like verbatim, but I'm just warning people that's listening, you are listening out there, that they'll say it quick, like, I love you. That wasn't my story, but I've just heard of other people. They're quick to say, I love you, I want to be with you, I want to spend my life with you. And it's real early.
Yeah.
Like real early. So early that you're like, okay, I like that, but it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Or over-the-top gestures, expensive gifts. Now, they can get you some really nice gifts.
Yes.
Good taste. Okay. Constant compliments in the beginning. Or extravagant plans. I always want to take you on a trip. I always want to do something exotic. Watch that. That's how they get you. They flood you with text messages or calls or DMs. Remember, every situation is not identical, but these are just some signs. Flooding you with text messages, calls, DMs, and make you feel guilty if you don't respond right away. But they don't respond to you. But you got to respond to them right away. Or they're speaking quickly about major life changes, like moving in, getting married, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, if you don't do what they want, they pull back on the affection.
Oh, yeah.
They pull back on the affection. So, at that time, when you're with somebody, you're trying to make what you got work.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't even all of that, but that is better than nothing. So I remember times when I'm like, okay, hey, it's been a while. We haven't had sex or anything. I don't work like that. So you dissing me. Oh, okay. How about don't worry about it?
Right. I'm good over here.
Because one thing I'm not going to do is beg for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But when they first start doing that, you be like, really?
Yeah.
Is it me?
Yeah.
So I started thinking it was me. But it was not me. It was not me. So it's like, okay. Like, no. But this is how they like trick you up in your head. It's crazy. We go on and on about this. But
yeah.
So just for the listener out there.
You're not alone.
Girl, no.
It's out there.
It's out there. It's real.
Yeah.
Be careful. And don't excuse away this type of behavior.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing.
How do you think the narcissistic woman presents?
That's what I was trying to figure out, because now my sister used to be with a woman who was a narcissist, but I think she presented more like a guy.
Gotcha.
Just by her, she was.
Because there are narcissistic women out there.
I know.
How they act, I'm not
sure.
sure.
I have to talk to somebody. We'd love to hear from somebody who's experienced it from a woman, because
quite sure.
It is there. I just haven't dealt with it. I don't know. But based on the research, hypersensitive, very emotional, and I think they guilt trip you.
They guilt trip.
And it's subtle.
So you went to work for 12 hours and left me home alone?
Yeah, damsel in distress.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all of that. But we don't know a lot about that, but we do know a little bit about dealing with some of these guys out here who have these traits. So beware. Don't excuse it away. And when you see it, run. That's all I can tell you, sis. Run.
But the narcissist can be trained if they actually seek the help.
But they won't, because they don't think anything is wrong. Well, there are some, because there are some pages out there now on social media where they're saying I'm a diagnosed narcissist. So if they really want help,
if they seek the help,
they can get the help.
Right. It's not the end.
It's not curable.
It's not the end of the road.
But it's treatable.
It's treatable.
So if somebody loves themselves, enough to get help, then they're, there's nothing God can't do. But you have to admit it first.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it for now. Oh, gosh. Run if they don't want to get help, all right? You're not crazy. They just make you think that you're crazy. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.